elevation of her mental abilities and talents and qualifies her to enter into a partnership with God. Meduna Ter, Volume 6, by Ra Nefer. Amen. I am Chief. This was the manner in which Kemet was able to bring forth the men and women from all walks of life who were responsible for its superlative civilization, unparalleled to this day.
Good morning. Peace is my true nature. I am divine. Well, I pray things are well with, no, I affirm that things are well with each of you as you rise into this new day. I welcome all of you. So, greetings to those of you who are in the YouTube room this morning. I cannot see the comments this morning for whatever reason, but I do acknowledge that I see you guys over there. And for those who have joined me this morning in the Zoom room, welcome. It's good to see all of you. And if you're joining me on some future date, it is today's date. Wherever you are, whatever time it is that you zoom into this, we welcome you. Well, this morning, we are here once again as we prepare ourselves to move through this next 20 to 30 minutes inside of the Science of Successful Living. I am Asar, your weekly facilitator. So this morning, I want to deal with the topic of do the right thing, doing the right thing. So we're going to jump right into that this morning, but I'm going to start this morning, but with a little reflection. As we start this day, let's take a moment to reflect on the profound principles of the law of correspondence. But that's what we're going to be looking at today and how it shapes our lives. The universal law, this one in particular, often associated with the concept of karma, it teaches us that our external circumstances are always a reflection of our internal state. Just like a mirror, the world around us mirrors our thoughts, feelings, and actions. If we want to experience positive changes and blessings in our lives, it's essential to align our thoughts, our intentions, and behaviors with the values we hold dear. Doing the right thing, not just in the eyes of the law, but also in consideration of the broader cosmic law of correspondence, is a powerful practice to take on. When we act with integrity, kindness, and empathy, we send out ripples of positive energies into the universe. This energy does not only shape our present reality, but also influences the experiences that come our way in the future. Karma, often simplified as what goes around comes around, it reminds us that the energy we put out into the world returns to us in kind. If we sow seeds of goodness and compassion, we are more likely to reap a harvest of positive experiences, relationships. Conversely, if we engage in negative actions or get back or harbor harmful intentions, we find ourselves facing challenges and obstacles. So as we navigate our day, let's be mindful of the energy we are sending out into the world. What are we emitting? Let's choose actions that align with our highest values. Let's treat others with respect and kindness and act with integrity in all our dealings. Integrity, saying what you mean and mean what you say. Doing what you say always. By doing so, you not only create a more harmonious and loving world for yourselves, but also contribute to the greater good of humanity. So this morning, let us look at what does it mean to do the right thing? I know that many of us struggle with this because oftentimes when we desire to do right, we often do wrong. So when we talk about doing the right thing, we're talking about the importance of listening to that voice, doing that which it directs us, versus doing that thing that comes oftentimes with reason. Sometimes we are reacting and we're not doing the right thing. When you respond, that means you understand that you could initially react, but you're putting some space between what has happened and what is about to happen. When you don't put space between what you've experienced and you just move into the next action, oftentimes it's the wrong action. It's like a knee-jerk experience. Sometimes it feels good to do that which automatically you're responding with or reacting with. But oftentimes that lends itself to getting more of what you've just gotten. Or you may have a temporary respite of, I got them back, or not going to do that to me. But when it all comes out in the wash, you're going to find that you are getting the same thing over and over again. So it's important that we understand what is the right thing. And what's the right thing is up to each of you. So let's take a moment and try to define doing the right thing. When we talk about doing the right thing, I bring it back to this, that your actions, that your responses in life should align with what you believe. It should align with your values and your virtues. You would think naturally those who call themselves, who walk inside of particular religious systems, such as Christianity, would do the right thing. But oftentimes they don't. Oftentimes I didn't, because my religious beliefs had not been integrated to the core of who I am. And so your beliefs, the things that are the core of who you are, your operating system, your values, this should dictate doing the right thing. When you go against what you believe, you oftentimes have what we call in the world of psychology, we call it, you have a cognitive dissonance, that there's not a connection between what you say and what you do. And so what we want to do is begin to live our lives in alignment with what we believe. Now, if you hold beliefs or values that you don't find yourself walking inside of, it's important that you take some time and reevaluate them, because they may, if you want to live in alignment with your belief systems, then your actions, your responses should align with them. The problem we have with many individuals who are espousing certain beliefs, they don't have the resonance in the actions that they take. So we got to align our lives with what we believe, and we live accordingly, then you're doing the right thing. And there may come a point in your life when you've done the right thing, but you're getting the wrong outcomes. Then you have to take time and reevaluate. Are the beliefs that I have held serving me today? They may have served you in the past, but no longer serve you. Maybe you need to expand them. Maybe you need to relook them and get a better interpretation of them. Maybe you need to let them go. That's up to you. I'm not here this morning to tell you to let go of what it is you believe, but you must evaluate what it is you believe. And you can tell whether or not you believe what it is you say you believe by looking at your actions. How are your beliefs incorporated into the life you are living? Now, when we talk about doing the right thing, you have to ask yourself, what is in line with my power? Now, this is important. Doing the right thing as it pertains to what we do to others. When you get to a place in life where you can pay it forward and you don't pay it forward, you're doing the wrong thing. I had the opportunity to watch the Cat Williams piece that was floating around YouTube. I watched the entire 2 hours, almost 3 hours of that event, and I was pleasantly surprised. I was pleasantly surprised. Not only is he a funny man, but he is a very intelligent man. Matter of fact, he has a very high IQ that puts him into a unique class of individuals. But the thing about Cat Williams that stood out most for me is the backstory of where he had come from, what he had experienced, and how he did not despise his time of small beginning, but he earmarked those things that had happened to him. And when he got in a position to do the right thing in the lives of other people, he often did that. That was a story that he shared with, that he travels with a big entourage of comedians, and that he actually paid these comedians. And so what he's able to do is because he understands the law of the universe. He's walking inside of that. He has taken on 6 to 7 children as he's adopted because he's in a position to do it. And so many of us are in positions to do more than we're doing, but we are not because we're not living inside of probably what we really believe. We believe things like do unto others as you would have it done unto you. But we find ourselves doing others in before they do it to us. And when you have that mindset that let me do somebody before I get done, all you're doing is putting a karmic procession into your life. What you are doing is you are also displaying that you don't trust the universe. So when you see an individual who is in a situation, they don't always have to ask you and then you do. Well, some people say, well, he didn't ask me or she didn't ask me, but you could see that person's situation and you know that if you was in that same situation, you would like someone to assist you. And sometimes it's as simple as seeing a person who is cold and purchasing them a cup of hot chocolate or coffee, going to a dollar store and just having a bunch of gloves in your car. And as you move around the city, you know it's going to get cold and there's some people who don't have gloves and you just give them a pair of gloves. You ain't got to go into judgments. You ain't got to ask them how they got in that predicament. You don't have to post it on Facebook what you've done. But the act of kindness shows you what you believe. The act of kindness is you're taking on a virtue of being God. And what you're doing for others, others will do for you. Now, what do I mean you taking on the virtue of being God? That is, you come into the realization you are the God that so many people are looking for. There's not a God out there that is responding to people, but it's the God that's inside of each of us. It's the divine presence that gives us the ability to reflect into the world in which we live, that there is a divine entity and it reflects through both you and I. So when we get the opportunity, we live in alignment with our power. We pay it forward. We help someone who may appear to be worse off than us. And oftentimes we will even help those who appear to be doing better than us. And many times when you help that person who appears to be doing better than you, you're probably helping an individual that will even do for you at some point in time. But we don't help others with the express purpose of receiving back from them what we've given to them. When I give to you or I give to someone else, what returns to me in most cases, I'm not expecting from you. And we should live accordingly. So doing the right thing means as you go through your day, you hold the position that you have power, not just to observe and not just to acknowledge, but to do something, to put some action behind who you are. Now, one of the most important things that will empower you to do the right thing is to become familiar with the laws of the universe. So many people have no clue about the laws of the universe. Oftentimes they are reflected as 12 laws. And I usually use that as I find in the 12 laws that I've come in contact with, they are a good compilation of the universal law. When I say the universal law, even though we can delineate them into 12 aspects, some people will say 13 aspects or whatever, they all come back to one, the law of divine oneness. This is the first of all the laws that we must understand, and that we live in a world where everything is connected to everything else. Everything we say, everything we do, everything we think and believe in some shape or form affects everyone around us. We have to be aware of that. We have the oneness of being. Not only are we one with this divine presence, but we are one in some level with the brothers and sisters and those who you come in contact with. The law of vibration is a law that we must be familiar with. This law states that everything in the universe moves, vibrates, and in a circular pattern. Every word, every thought, every feeling has its own vibrational frequency. And guess what? What goes out comes back. What goes around comes around. What goes up comes down. The law of action is a law that we must become familiar with. This law must be applied in order for each of us to manifest things on earth. You must engage in actions and support your thoughts, your dreams and intentions and expectations, emotions and words. You do the right thing when you align your desire with a right action. Now, the one that's most important this morning is the law of correspondence. This law simply states that the principles or laws of physics explain and support the physical dimensions of the world, such as above, so below. What goes out also comes back in. The law of correspondence says things correspond with. That leads us to the law of cause and effect. We don't understand if you do the wrong thing, you're going to get the wrong thing. Nothing happens by chance or by outside universal laws. Every action has a reaction, a consequence. We reap what we have sown. Many times we look at the effect, but we don't take time to explore the cause. We can look at what has happened to us, what is happening to us, but you must not get stuck in that, but you need to step back and say, what is the cause? Now, that doesn't mean that things that manifest in your life oftentimes is a direct cause of your wrong thinking or something you've done. Sometimes we understand that the steps of the righteous are ordered. Source will put you in the situation that somebody else in that same situation, they will decompress, they will just lose it. But you have the ability to go through that situation, to be in that contrast and exemplify how to live through it. You know, you won't be put in a situation where you're going to tear the whole place up, even though you perhaps have the right to do that. But you understand that here's another way to deal with this. So we talk about the law of cause and effect. We must know that things are presented in our lives and that you don't focus on what is presenting, especially if it's not what you desire. And it is, if it's what you desire, then you focus on it from the perspective of what did I do? What have I done to get these outcomes? Because I want to continue to do that to get this outcome. But on the other side of that, you look at what have I done, perhaps, to get what I'm getting. Sometimes it's something we have done or have failed to do. Sometimes it's not what we didn't actually do, but it's what we were thinking. So when we talk about this cause and effect, the cause cannot be dwindled down to being a good person or a bad person, but you want to look at, what am I thinking? Why am I in this predicament? What is it that I'm to learn? Am I getting the blessing or getting the lesson? You always have to look at those situations. But when you react to situations, don't take time to breathe through situations. You'll miss what is being spoken to you. That's important. The law of compensation. How does this help? This is a law of the cause and effect applied to blessings and abundance that are provided to us. The visible effects of our deeds are given to us in gifts, money, inheritances, friendships, blessings, compensation. Compensation does not always come in the form of money, but compensation says we are getting in our lives which is commensurate with what we've given or what we've expected. That leads to the law of attraction. And this is the law that most people think they know. Most have a familiarity with the law of attraction, but they don't understand that the law of attraction does not operate in isolation. It operates inside of all the laws. The law of attraction demonstrates how to create things, how to manifest events and people that will come into our lives. Our thoughts, our feelings, the words we produce energies, which in turn attract like energies. Negative, low energy attracts negative, low energy people, situations. Positive, high energy attract positive, high energy situations, circumstances, and people. We have to understand when we talk about energies, there's no good energy, there's no bad energies. There's vibrational frequencies that align with what you want. You can live on the low spectrum of life and get that which comes with that, or you can move up the scale and you can get those things that come with the higher vibrational frequency. Another law that very few people know about, but helps us in doing the right thing, is the law of perpetual transmutation of energy. This is number 8 of the 12 laws. It's a powerful one. It states that all persons within them have the power to change the conditions of their lives. I believe that. You are not powerless. You have what it takes to change your life. You may have been given or conceded your power to something, but you can take your power back. Higher vibrations consume and change lower ones. Thus, each of us can change the energies of our lives by understanding and using this universal law. You know, you used to hear the first lady used to say, when they go low, I go high. This is the law of perpetual transmutation of energy. Choosing to stay within a vibrational frequency and not going down the scale and meeting someone at their frequency, because that frequency will affect your immediate life. Because if you're living up here and all of a sudden you come down here, everything that up here, you no longer have access to it. So you got to learn to maintain your vibrational frequency by doing the right things. The more frequently you do the right thing, the higher your frequency will stay. That's important. Now, we got to keep things in perspective. That's the law of relativity. This law states that each person will receive a series of life challenges. We all will. Tests of initiations for the purpose of strengthening the light within. It does no good to get the lesson, but don't take it to an actual, what I like to call, you have to take it to application. So the more you read things, the more you engage things, and if you're really embracing those things, Earth School, the universe will allow the proper circumstances to align to help you see whether or not you not only got the lesson, but you can also operate the principles, the practices that align with that particular lesson. So we have to understand the law of relativity. The key is to remain in a positive flow, to have the right mindset, no matter what you're going through, or have yourself aligned with individuals when you go down that path of the pity party, that they'll come alongside of you and they'll gently nudge you. And sometimes they'll slap you into the reality of, if you keep going that way, things will be worse. So we got to stay in a positive flow and to be grateful, because the situation can always be worse. No matter what you're going through right now, it can be worse. Oh, you don't have shoes? Suppose you don't have feet. You don't have gloves? Suppose you don't have hands. So there's a lot of things that we have to count our blessings in. Find gratitude in any situation you're going through. You could say, wow, I could have destroyed my whole car. Well, only got a piece of my car knocked off. You could say, wow, when we look at whatever it is, how could it have been worse? And then you have gratitude that it isn't. That's important. Okay. Observe other ways of putting things in proper perspective. Instead of just looking at things as they are, look at them as you desire them to be. That's important. The law of polarity. This law states that everything is on a continuum and has an opposite. As I was saying earlier, there's one continuum. Now, where are you at on the continuum? Now, we vacillate. We move up and down the frequency scale. Now, nobody stays at 8, 9, 10. Some people choose to stay and live their lives in a lower vibrational frequency, below the 5. But you can choose. I try to live my life on the 6, 7, 8 end of the spectrum. Sometimes I slip down to a 5, but I'm automatically able to check myself. How do I check myself? Because I can feel that this doesn't feel good. And then I do the right thing. To do the right thing that moves my emotional energies up the scale. I might have a nice meal, go for a walk along a place that I find serene and peaceful. And I begin to move my emotional feelings up the scale. So that's important, that you want to know, you don't want to polarize yourself in a place you don't want to be. Sometimes looking back will polarize you to a situation. It will preserve you in that situation. I only look back to see how far I've come. I look back to see what may be trying to overtake me. But for the most part, I live my life looking through the front view window, not rear view mirrors. I use my side view mirrors, but I don't keep looking back, because if you keep looking back, you're gonna go back. There's another law that helps you do the right thing. It's called the law of rhythm. This law states that everything vibrates and moves to a certain rhythm. You got to find the rhythm. These rhythms establish seasons, cycles, and stages of development and pattern. You got to know you may be in a season where nothing is supposed to grow, and you just maintain. And you be at peace with that, knowing that what you need, when you need it, will show up. Each cycle reflects the regularity of the universe. You must learn to master and learn that nothing stays the same, and everything is a perpetual state of becoming, and learn how to flow with it. Do the right thing in the right moment. Come on now. It's like a dance. Some people try to learn the dance and stay inside of the count. Like some people try to live inside of the 12 laws. But then you come into the place where you understand, okay, they're all one. I'm going to live life in rhythm and with the universe. And if the universe spins me, I'm just going to turn. If the universe dips me, I'm just going to dip. If the universe lets me go and gives me a time to do my thing, I'm going to do my thing. But I'm going to stay in alignment with the fact that I and the universe are one. It's the dance of life. So you want to rise above what appears negative by never allowing the reality to dictate your state. Now, here's what I mean by that. Yes, you did have a situation. Yes, that thing happened to you. Yes, things appear to be bleak. But you don't forecast that into your future. You realize this is the now. And the most effective thing you can do is deal with the now. Is it happening today? Because sometimes we project things from the past. We project things from the group that are not even our stuff to deal with. That was yesterday. That was somebody else's stuff. But we carry other people's loads, and we got to let people carry their own load. You have to download stuff. Let things go that don't concern you. That is important. That is so important that you understand on this journey of life. If you want to go to higher heights, you got to be like a mountain climber. True mountain climbers, when you see them at the base camp, they got all this stuff. When they begin to take that procession up the mountain, they have a big backpack on, and they leave some of the stuff at the base camp. Then halfway up the mountain, or at certain increments up the mountain, they drop things off. They lighten their load. And then ultimately, when they get to the top of the mountain, or to the pinnacle of the mountain, they have very little baggage. Now, most people don't understand that the things they dropped off along the way to the top are the very things that are going to sustain them when they descend the mountain. You will never go to a mountain and stay there. Even the scripture says we go from glory to glory. We have our peaks and our valleys. And on your way down, there's things to sustain you. And when you hit the base camp, there's things that's there to help you. So it's how we look at life depends on our ability to do the right thing. Another law that is often talked about is the law of gender. Everything has its masculine yang and feminine yin principles. and that these are the basis of all creations. The spiritual initiate, you and I, must acknowledge these in and of themselves and learn how to balance them inside of ourselves. We all have both masculine, feminine energy. We all must understand to operate inside of the creative, the internal creative, the imagination, and the physical aspect of doing the right thing. Sometimes doing the right thing is doing nothing. Sometimes doing the right thing is being still and know that you are God, that you have the propensity, that you have the capacity to deal with whatever's been dealt with you, to you. Life is like a card game. It's not the one that has the right cards that win the game. If you ever play or watch individuals playing cards, the one who has the best hand doesn't always win. But the one who knows how to play the hand they are dealt oftentimes win. And that's what you have to learn to do. You have to learn how to play the hand that you dealt. You don't look at it, it's not a misdeal. What you've been dealt, source has dealt to you because you have the ability to play that hand. You're not being victimized. You've been chosen for a time such as this, a situation such as this. Somebody else chosen in that same situation would have not really exemplified what it is to be a divine spiritual being. So we have to align with the laws by knowing that the laws will help us decide what is right. All right. And what is the reward? The reward of doing the right thing is this. What goes around will come around. What I give out will come back to me. Most of all, here's one that I hold true. Source says it will withhold no good thing from those who walk upright. Now, what does it mean to walk upright? What does it mean to walk upright? Means that I'm not perfect, but I'm seeking perfection. I'm seeking to apply the things that I know if I do them, they'll give me the right outcome. And that source really does hold no good thing. When I have made missteps in my life, that was a situation in my life, I made some wrong investments. And I was doing quite well in life. Things were going great for me. I made some wrong investments, but guess what? When I made that decision at the time of the decision, it seemed to be the right decision. And sometimes that decision that you made that now you say was the wrong decision because of what has happened was really the right decision because what came after that showed you what you were made of. Come on now, we have to understand that when life gives us something that is considered a contrast, it's an opportunity for us to take the principles, take the practices to work. That's important. So the reward of doing the right thing is you always get the right thing. Even when you've done the right thing and it appears that wrong things are coming forth, you have to hold fast to this. That source desires to do for us, to give to us, to get us to our expected end. Even though on the way there, you may have some incidents, you may have run into some contrasts, but keep doing what's right. In the darkness of the night, you do what's right. Because know this, the day is coming where the thing done in the dark will manifest in the light. And if you're doing the wrong thing in the dark, the wrong thing will come up in the light. So do what's right. Not even when others are watching, not when no one's watching you in the privacy of your lives. Do what's right in the privacy and the publicity, the public essence of your life. Now, I want to close this morning with prayer. I hope something has been said that put something on your mind that is encouraging you. So here's a prayer of affirmation regarding the power to do the right thing. So right where you are, I want you to take a big breath in. Hold that breath. Now exhale through your mouth. And just simply close your eyes and affirm with me that in this vast and loving, embracing universe, we acknowledge this morning the unwavering support and guidance that flows to each of us in every moment. We are deeply grateful for the presence of the divine wisdom and strength within us right here and right now. As we navigate this journey of life, we are committed to doing the right things and taking actions that align with our highest good and greater good of all. We recognize that our choices and actions have a ripple effect in the world, and we choose to be a force for good. This morning, we surrender any doubt or fears that may hold us back from making the right decisions. We trust in the innate wisdom of the universe, guides us to the integrity and right, that we are strengthened from within to act with courage and with compassion, to trust that the universe is taking care of us. We are attuned to the inner voice of truth and love, which leads us to choices that promote harmony, justice, and well-being. We are grateful for the universe's unwavering support in every step we take. We are empowered to do the right things and take right actions, knowing that we are an instrument of divine love and light in this world. So let us together affirm: the universe supports and strengthens us in doing the right things and taking the right actions. We are beacons of love and integrity, making a positive impact on the world, and so it is. So it is. Wow, I hope you got something out of that this morning. So let me look here and see if there. Let me look here and see here what some people are saying this morning. But before that, I want to do, first of all, I want to thank all of you, and so many of you who continue to support this work unsolicited. I live inside of an open universe. I no longer have, I've put myself in a position where I'm not going to move into the thinking that someone needs to take care of me, someone needs to give me. No, I just want to say thank you to those of you who are in alignment with the universe, and your power to support work in whatever way that you hate. So here, someone had this morning, the question was, why can't you say things could be better? Now, let me say this. To say that things could be better is your right to do. But will saying things could be better make them better? No, I think this person is responding to us looking at when there's a situation going on in our lives and seeking gratitude. They say things could be, instead of saying things could be worse, say things could be better. Now, in the relationship to the power of words, to say things can be better is probably better than saying things can be worse, because the universe only responds to action. And so if you speak a word, is the word aligning with what you desire, or is the word aligning with what you don't? So you could potentially say things could be better, but I like to tell people to, inside of the gratitude, you move to it changes your attitude, and you move to the place where now you begin to create what it is you desire. And sometimes we have to just be still and say, source, is this is what I'm to be in, I'm in. That is, don't be so quick to get out of something that source is orchestrated for you to be in. Make sure you're getting out of that thing the very thing that is there for you to get, the blessing that's inside of this lesson. And we are so quick to try to move from this to that, but be present to right here, right now. That things will change. Time for change. But sometimes they stay the same because we override them by having the wrong thoughts, by speaking the reality into the realness of our lives, by continuing to look at what it is you don't want to experience, and you keep looking at it, you keep mulling over it, and you keep producing it. So you have to really be aware of where you are. You got to be aware of what you're thinking. You got to know you have the power that just you have that is having this incident, and you can't go into the pity party of why me. Why is things happening to me? Why not? Many times when things are happening to us, we have to take on the thought that it's better me probably than somebody else, and not just say things are happening to me because I'm doing something wrong. Things are happening to me because I'm doing something right, or I have the ability to do change that situation. Whereas if it happens to someone else, it could be devastating. That's now. So I hope that helps, Cheryl. So you can say things are could be better. So I'm not here to lay the law down. If it works for you, work it. And I tell people this, that we don't want to, in this spiritual path, we don't want to take on the same mentality that the religious teachers took on. They put down, this is how you do it. No, you find out how you do it by doing it. And if it works, keep working it. If it doesn't work, don't become psychotic and keep doing something, expecting something different to happen. It's your responsibility to craft your life. It's your responsibility to take inventory of what's going on in your life. It's your responsibility to develop a system that works for you. That's important. Awesome. Awesome. Good morning, Marna. Good to see you. Let me see here. Anybody there is life is grand and everything is good. Okay, great. So I don't see any other questions out there. Let me see if I see any hands up. If there's anybody got a question, an insight, something you want to share, go ahead and put your hand up and I will acknowledge you. Awesome. So we are right at the quarter to the hour. I've said all I need to say. I encourage those of you who have not experienced our morning meditations, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 6:15, approximately in that time frame, to join us. Sometimes we go a little longer, but that's only on the backside for those who want to stick around to hear the testimonies or the shares, the concerns that are out there, because we take it for affirmative prayer. So join me Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. And then on Tuesday nights, well, this class, I'm currently in a 4-week class that we're going to wrap up on next week. And we're dealing with the basics of the understanding new thought. So many of us have gotten bits and pieces, but I'm really in a regimented way unpacking what new thought, how to use what they call religious science, how to use the power of your mind to navigate through life. So be looking for that information to come your way. Okay, that's all I have this morning. We're going to close with the song that we started with this morning, and that song is I Am Divine. It's a great song. I'll drop the link out here for those of you who want to grab it. And so you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys in the 6 o'clock hour on tomorrow morning.
Man is a divine being, says the Kemetic religion, but the early part of man's life is dominated by the human faculties and limitations. The Egyptian religion is then the transcendence of the human stage and the realization of the true and final state, the divine nature. Divinity is realized by adherence to divine laws and confers upon man access to divine or superhuman abilities, the elevation of her mental abilities and talents, and qualifies her to enter into a partnership with God. Medunater, Volume 6, by Ra.